welcome to the Conqu3r show. I'm your host, Tevin, here with my lovely co-host, Cliche in the building. Why you looking at me like that?
I saw Tiffany's face. I know everything.
Don't, Tiffany, don't do that. Good energy today. You know, we just came off the Father's Day, Juneteenth. Good vibes today, you know what I mean?
You got that Father's Day shirt on. I like it.
I know, I should have worn it yesterday. I don't know why, you know?
Like that.
Got from Goodwill. Shout out to Goodwill once again, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a guest in the building. He is a social and recreational wellness advocate, dance instructor, workshop presenter, writer, creator, choreographer, consultant, inventor, DJ, entrepreneur, you name it, he's done it. Fitness entertainer, coach, and a father. And let's not forget, y'all, he's repping the
586.
There you go. I don't want to butcher it. I'm glad he said that. I don't want to butcher it.
Represent.
He goes by Mr. Cardio Tone. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, I'm good, man. Let's get it.
Let's get it, man.
Let's get it.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, man. So what got you started? So what was your passion first?
Passion was really finding myself. And once I did,
Right.
it was kind of always entertainment in some sort.
Right.
And because, being the class clown, it started off there trying to impress the girls and all that. And I was like, man, this is nice.
Yeah.
So anyway, one thing led to the other. And so once I finally got to college,
Right.
before I flunked out, I became the SGA president. And I became student government president because everybody knew me from partying. So I realized, hey, that, you have a chance to impact people in different ways.
Right.
And just with my personality at that time, I was able to make moves.
Right.
So once I got in that position, I was able to develop my organizational skills.
Right.
And so it led me from one point to the other. And then once I flunked out, I went active duty in the Persian Gulf War. And then so once I got back, it's a long story, but I guess I just have a passion for people getting the party started.
There you go.
Hey.
The party didn't start until I showed up.
Yeah.
And it don't start right now till I come.
There you go.
So it's a party right now. You gonna show us some dance moves?
Absolutely.
Okay.
He said it's so
Okay.
He said it's so smooth too.
Yeah.
I love
Move the desk.
I love it.
We gonna do that.
We gonna do that.
So when did you get into education?
Realistically, I guess about 10 years ago.
10 years ago. Okay.
I started writing the program
Right.
under President Obama and Michelle Obama. She was really pushing the health initiative for children.
Right.
And so I decided that I wanted to add a educational component to it. I thought that would be fun, something different.
Right.
And at that time, I started doing what I would call STEM fitness.
Okay.
Right.
I'm sorry, just fitness for education.
Right.
So one thing led to the other, and the bombers left. I was like, what am I going to do now? So I had to recreate myself.
Yeah.
So with that concept, STEM had come to the forefront as far as education. I said, man, if I can combine the fitness component with the STEM education, I think I got something new.
Right.
So that happened about 10 years ago. And as you can see, this is the final product that I have. And I just fine-tuned the concept. I did a lot of research and a lot of reading that I did not enjoy, first of all. But you have to do that to stay, and just to be knowledgeable about your field and what you want to do. So it forced me to read more. It forced me to research more. And I'm glad I did because now, like I said, here's the final result of creating a curriculum based on STEM and fitness and interactive education. That's what I do.
Okay, nice. So what does the curriculum consist of, in particularly? And who do you reach out to? Do you go to public schools, or is it more early childhood centers?
Well, I would say more so early childhood education programs. Head Start, pre-K.
Right.
Because that is the area that we get our educational foundation. Our social foundation begins at preschool.
Yes.
So I thought that would be a good point. And plus the kids are really enthusiastic about learning. You know, they're happy to see you.
Yeah.
It's not like in college you be like, oh, that's my school.
Right.
The kids be like, hey, Miss Cardio, you know, jump around, have fun, interactive. So that's just my passion right there. So I really like preschool and early elementary.
Okay. And do you do this just in Georgia, or what are your locations where you teach this curriculum?
Well, currently I'm doing 16 schools in Columbus, Georgia.
Okay.
And this summer, I'm presently at Cornerstone here in Atlanta, the 2 locations. I'm teaching at Atlanta Achievers Academy.
Right.
Plus, working on Result Fitness, which is more of a older crowd.
Right.
So, and then I'm traveling. Trying to do presentations and, you know.
Do you have any online dance class? Because I'm like, you said 16 classes.
Yeah, the classes, I was brought in under the auspices of a mentorship program.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm teaching my STEM entrepreneurship program to 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders because 3rd grade is that pretty much determines whether or not that child is going to be having a home in prison. If they already know if a child cannot read by the 3rd grade, that 9 times out of 10 he's headed towards the slammer. So they brought me into this mentorship program to teach the entrepreneur STEM program.
Right.
That's how I actually got into 16 schools, and presently we're adding a community garden credit union concept to that.
Nice.
So it's more of a hands-on. So not only are you getting the classroom experience, you're getting the hands-on, showing the children how money works.
Yes.
And I definitely want to go more in detail about how money works and how I use the alphabets to teach children how money works on all levels, locally and internationally.
Yeah, please do, man.
Yeah.
The floor is yours.
Oh, y'all ready?
Yes, let's get right into it.
Well, do me a favor. Start off with the first alphabet.
A.
Okay, so I teach agronomics.
Okay,
agronomics is anything that comes out of the earth, on the earth, or above the earth.
Right.
That's what you name it. Everything that's sold on Wall Street or being serviced by a company on Wall Street comes out of the earth, on the earth, or above the earth, and man gives value to. So that's agronomics. So then you got B for bank.
Right.
Okay, just like you have the banks of a river, right? Then you have the physical bank.
Right.
It does the same thing.
right.
It directs the current or the currency. It does not hold it. And every time,
I like that.
Every day at 5 o'clock, this Brinks truck back up and take that money out. We never ask, where does that money go?
We sure don't.
We just deposit it. Of course, D is deposit, C is current. And then they take it to some local economy or environment or ecology. One and the same.
Right.
But it doesn't stay in our community. And so that's why our community does not grow and other communities grow, because they take our money, take it out at 5 o'clock and deposit it in somebody else's community. And that's why that community grows and ours does not. That's how all money works, even on the international level.
Right.
You know, you got Africa. They come and get all these resources out of the earth, on the earth, above the earth, and take it over to their country, directs that currency and deposit it into their local economy. And that's why their countries grow and ours does not. In 5 minutes, I could. That's how all money works. I don't care if it's cryptocurrency, food stamp, cash app, all of it. Because the end result, you got to buy your necessities: food, clothing, shelter, transportation.
Right.
So that's kind of the concept I use. Of course, I go through all 26 alphabets. After the economy, you got to let your money flow. F. Then once your money flow, you got to let it grow. Then once it grows, you got to harvest it. Then I is once you harvest it, now it's time to invest your money.
There you go.
So that's part of what the creation that I call agribets.
Right.
Because everybody's talking about Robin Hood and investing in. We really don't understand money on that level. We think we do. Well, man, I could buy into the stocks. Your local community is a stock market. You know, you spend your money locally, it's a stock market. As we were talking about your the people that your sponsors. That's a local stock market. We got to buy a product and keep the money local in order for this community to grow. I don't care. So that's kind of the general concept of how it works.
That's powerful, man.
I like
That's
that.
powerful. And I love that you're doing it with kids because kids need to know that.
Sure.
And speaking of kids, where do you think the state of education is with our kids?
It's where it's going to be, because to me, it has no intention on really educating our children
Right.
of entrepreneurship
Right.
and how to apply what you know. So that's kind of the difference in the program that I teach.
Right.
You know, you say a child learns their colors.
Right.
Right.
Preschool, right?
Right.
Okay, when you go to McDonald's, the arches are what color?
Yellow.
So when you go to the red light, yellow means what?
Slow down.
Slow down.
Okay, and under those arches, you have a what? Rectangle.
Right.
You learned that in preschool, right? Wow. Okay, what color is that rectangle?
Red.
Red. Okay, red means to what?
Stop.
Stop. So slow down, stop. And what's inside that red?
Come get served.
No, it has a word. Okay, McDonald's. It says McDonald's.
Oh, okay.
Slogan for real.
I think you was looking for the
Yeah,
slogan.
come get
that.
Man, we
But-
serve millions.
So now I'm teaching the children why you should understand and learn your colors, because it's going to be part of your day-to-day life.
Right.
Your geometrical shapes going to be part of your day-to-day life. You pull up in your neighborhood, you see your sign on your street sign. What shape is that?
Yeah, it's a rectangle.
It's a rectangle.
Yeah.
Right.
What color is it?
Mine is green.
Yeah, it's
green,
green.
yeah.
Yeah. And inside that, it has at least one of those 26 letters or uses of those 26 letters that you learn when you're in preschool. So now we're teaching the children how education starts at such a young age, but follows you the rest of your life. It's just a matter of how you put it into place and understand what you're seeing.
Right.
So these companies use these colors, these alphabets, and these symbols in order to get us to buy things, merchandising. You know, Walmart, color what? What
Blue.
color? Blue.
Blue,
Blue
yeah.
means what? When you go to the beach, what do you feel like doing?
Get in the ocean.
Yeah,
Blue is like a calming color. It's supposed to calm you down. Really.
Yeah, exactly. So then
Colors have a psychological.
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
And then there's a yellow flower, right? So yellow means to what? Slow down, calm down, and relax. So and shop where?
At Walmart.
So this is
clever
how
with this, man.
colors, symbols, and these things affect us every day. And
Right.
until we are able to educate our children how to utilize it,
Right.
you know, this is the application of my STEM entrepreneurship program. So
That's powerful, man.
it goes on and on. Trust me, it goes.
Yeah. Cliche, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I did have a question. Now that you just gonna spring it on me now.
Knew she was ready, right?
Right. I was just making sure.
Yeah, and I know this is off topic because we're
it's-
kind of all over the place.
There's no such thing as off topic with me. Trust me.
All right. I want to know what's your opinion on the reason why so many teachers these days are leaving.
Because they don't have students coming to the class. And that's
where they
part of
going?
it. Yeah, they don't have students that are ready to learn. You know, you're dealing with disciplinary problems more so than being able to sit there and teach, because you go in the classroom wanting to teach. Now you got to deal with this kid's behavior. And part of that reason is that a lot of schools don't separate children based on their learning strengths. Some children learn better by listening. Some children learn about hands-on and so forth, hearing, whatever. And in my STEM program, I integrate that learning. And that's what this curriculum is all about, because you can listen to the CD, you can hear the CD, you can see the video. There's an interactive game. You can touch, you can feel. Even in the culinary part of it, you get to taste it.
Right.
And when you look up in your cabinet, right? You go home and look in your cabinet, open the door, all your food is in a cylinder. You learn cylinders in preschool, right?
Yeah.
It has one of those colors, those primary colors. So even our food is packaged in those geometrical shapes and one of those basic 8 colors or whatever that we learn in preschool.
Right.
So this is how, and then when you turn the label around, it has a mathematical formula. So you learn the math. Learning degrees, you have to cook it. That's it. So this is how I teach my STEM entrepreneur class, because it's going to affect you for the rest of your life. So anyway, so I hope that answered your question. I kind of went around and about.
No,
but yeah, we're not allowing the teachers to have students ready to learn in their classroom, and that's why so many are not stand in the profession.
Right.
And they're just being disgusted. And you can give them all the money that they can take. It's not just the money they want to teach.
Right.
So, yeah.
Because you got most of them feeling like babysitters, not actually
Yeah.
teachers.
The day
You
is
know.
over.
Yeah. So who do you think is more responsible for the child's education, the teachers or the parents?
The parents.
I said that all the
Yeah.
time.
Absolutely.
And I've
It is
had
the parents,
parents.
yeah.
But here's the crazy part. Years ago, I've had parents say it's the teacher's responsibility. That's why I send my child to you for 8 hours a day. And I said, that is wrong. Your
That
child
is wrong.
learning starts at home.
Yeah,
It
it does. It does. And that's part of my program. It's called STEM Home University because the base of your education starts at home.
Right.
Just to give you guys a tidbit of my next project, since this one's already done, I'm developing a prenatal program. So your child, well, like I said, you got to prepare the children for the classroom. So the program looks something like this. While the baby is still in the womb, all of your faculties are in place by 32 weeks. The child can taste, they can see, they can hear, they can feel. All your basic 5 senses are already intact. So that's where my program began. So you say, what did you teach them? The same thing you teach them now. You read them the book from the program, and so forth and so on. So that's the first stage of my program. So I'm kind of falling back. But first of all, I wanted to work with 3-year-olds to the 5-year-olds in my STEM. So this program is called, y'all give me a lot of time to talk. I love this program.
Yeah, man.
So it's called I Am a STEM.
Right.
And it stands for I am a scientist, a technician, an engineer, and a mathematician.
Right.
So now you start teaching the child that while they're here, and then once they come out, they're ready for the classroom.
And I've heard that before. I've heard those studies.
We just don't do it
At all.
We like, I know that's right. Well, how do you implement it? So that part of the program is how we implement it. It starts at home. The father. I also add the father because a lot of times we forget the dad as part of the general education. So it's called mommy, daddy, me, and newbie.
I like that.
So because everybody in that household has an impact on that child learning.
Right.
Even when it's right here. So it goes pretty deep. And just to give you a tidbit how deep it goes, by the time a child reaches 1 year old, I teach them all the one letter science, technology, engineering, math words. It's only 3 words, I, O, and A. By the time they turn 2 years old, they should know all the 2-letter words, the root words and stem words, like buy, die. Then by the time they reach 3 years old, guess how many letters they should know? Come on, somebody say
The whole
3.
3.
Yeah, 3. Right.
So like bio,
No,
so because I know, right? I know, right? No, you get. Yeah.
Was that a trick
smart
question? I don't know.
So I did. So I take them step by step, and so then by the time they turn 4, they should know all the 4-letter words like math. If we're going to acclimate them to be scientists, technicians, engineers, and mathematicians, the first words that they should hear or learn are science, technology, engineering, math words. I'm not trying to make it complicated.
Right.
So
Should be simple.
yeah. And what it does, it takes away the fear factor.
Right.
We have phobias about going into those fields. Because, well, I don't want to be no engineer. I'm scared. That's too hard. But if you teach them at 1, 2, 3, they was like, engineer, bio means life. I knew that when I was 2 years old. Engineering means to build. Okay, what bioengineering? Yeah, I like that. I'm interested. Then you give them the working tools.
Right.
So now the child is comfortable and they're ready for the what?
The world.
The world and the class what? The classroom.
You said the class.
The world. Which is don't pay him though. It's one and the same. It's one and the same.
Because I be looking at Tevin looking at me like, he really thinking like,
You be looking at you.
I'm gonna start looking over here and here.
Yeah.
Right? So they're ready for the world. They're ready for the classroom. Now they have a firm foundation. In the reading books that come along with the curriculum also reinforces it. I have a board game that reinforces the concept. I have flashcards that reinforce it. I have songs that reinforce it. So
are these? I'm sorry.
yeah.
Those are Okay.
Yeah, you can pull it out. It's kind of packaged, but you can kind of see
Kind
what
of
it is.
packing.
Yeah, so that's the curriculum. I call it STEM in a box.
Right.
So what this is, that is a resource center. That is a resource center. So inside that resource center, I think, Tevin, you've seen that,
Yeah.
is a thumb drive.
Okay.
With the, in order to drive, you need to go to the what? DMV, right?
Right.
So that's a child's DMV to maneuver and to give them access to my curriculum. So D stands for documentaries, is on there,
Right.
music and videos. That's the DMV. So
These are nice.
that's part of it. I got to tweak it a little bit. Yes,
I wanted to say, can we pull them out and show people?
Sure.
Like, I wanted to know what the flashcards were gonna.
those are.
Gonna pop these open.
Don't do that. I still got to sell that. But those are the deck, the playing cards
Right.
that goes to the board game. You can pull out the board game that is at the bottom.
Yeah.
So those are the moving pieces that go to the board game.
It's heavy.
So those are the flashcards.
All the info in there, man. That's why.
Oh, sorry. Here y'all go. Here y'all go.
So those are the flashcards.
You say
So the flashcards are identical to the board game or the deck cards.
right.
And that is the board game.
Just do it like
Yeah, you don't have to worry. Yeah, just pull it out. You can pull it out.
Yeah, because they can't.
This,
Yeah.
this is just,
Let's pull it out.
yeah, that's a board game.
Okay. Yeah, I like this.
So child roll, once they land on the first space, they have to say the word,
Okay.
which is one of the 26 aggregates.
Okay.
And then they have to say it phonetically.
Right.
Then they have to tell you what the word is. Then they have to give you the definition based on their knowledge base is based on how many points they get.
Right. Right.
So this board game can be played with the entire family. You know, it's a fun way to interact with mommy, daddy, me, and newbie. So
Clever.
yeah.
Clever, man.
So that's the way the program worked. The most important thing is this whole curriculum is you can follow along. This curriculum can be followed along with my STEM TV show. So as the kids watching the STEM TV show,
Right.
they can follow along and play the board game. They can follow along and do their workbook. They can watch their video. So it's an interactive, multi-dimensional learning tool. So
That's powerful.
I got
man.
different characters that will be coming on.
Right.
One character will be riding with my homies. So and I chose that because we all are xenophobic in a sense sometimes with different cultures and everything.
Yeah.
So my homie might be Hispanic. So when he sees McDonald, he might use Spanish word. I'll be like, that's cool, that's all right. You still my homie. You different, but you still my homie. We ride together.
Right.
Or a child with dyslexic that reads backwards.
Right.
He might read, instead of stop, he might read tops. That's cool. Okay, so we're going to change seats. So you read stop this time, I'm going to read tops. Let him know it's okay. Because there's a genius in every situation. It's just a matter of how we bring that genius out of that child.
Right.
As you can probably already tell, I'm ADHD. But on the flip side, we have this misconception. People want to drug us all the time. It's not.
Yes. Yeah. Let's
It's
talk
not
about
necessarily that
Right.
we need drugging, but we are very impulsive.
Right.
You say, "Give me an alphabet."
See.
C, clown. So that's the way I process information.
Right.
You say W, I'm doing this. Because that's the way we process it. When we hear things, we want to do it. We want to touch it. We want to taste it. We want to get up and do it.
All right.
Right.
But on the flip side, that brings out a genius in us. So it's a matter of understanding that personality, their traits, and how to. The old folks used to say, accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. So
Right.
no matter what your learning style is, we try to accentuate the positive.
Right.
Whereas you build a child's self-esteem and opposed to him or her feeling like it's a burden.
Right. Right. Right.
So
It's very few teachers, I feel like, that knows that, what you just said. But it's too many that do not know that.
Well-
why do you think that is?
a lot of them know it, but they put them all in the same classroom. So it's hard to teach a hyperactive kid like me when I want to get up and touch and dance, and then this person want to sit and watch and write.
Right.
That should be one of the first things that a teacher should be able to do is assess that child's learning strength. And that's what generally does not happen, because my daughter teach at a academy, and they put all the kids in, and autistic kids, ADHD kids, put everybody in the class.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's scary.
Well,
It's interesting.
It's interesting. It's only scary because all the kids who need the most help aren't getting it.
Yeah, like that undivided attention.
Yeah.
Because some kids do need that.
Well, from what I hear, they'll start implementing that, taking them out for part of the session, then bringing them into the whole classroom.
Okay.
But the funny thing about the autistic kids, this one particular kid, he has social issues. He don't like to be close to people. He sits away, but he's the best reader. Mm-hmm. So and that's what I'm saying. We talk about Rain Man, Forrest Gump. So they're great mathematicians. So we try to find out their strength. And what I do differently, I put them on a team. Mm-hmm. See, in order for our children to be successful in life, we put them on teams. A basketball team, you got to be a team player. But we don't put them on teams as far as education. It, to me, is we should.
Right.
Now you got a team that's pushing you and motivating you, or bringing out your strength. You can lean on my brother. You can lean on my sister. With the weaknesses that you have might be my strength. Right. So that's what I do in my program. I call it Sigma Formula 5. I put the kids on teams of 5. Mm-hmm. And because your team we win as a team. We don't win as individual. We have individual successes, but as a whole, we need a team to win. Right. And so I bring that concept early into the classroom. They said, we have a problem getting along. Well, if we teach them at 3 and 4 years old, hey, you got to depend on your team. They grew up with that mindset.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So there's various ideologies that I bring into the classroom, because I'm building it for our children's success. Right. Say, you're a good student, you're smart, you're gonna be somebody. No, I want to guarantee your success. Not only in the classroom but in the boardroom. If you don't make it either or, you'll be an excellent employee, because we all grew up under the same system or matriculation. Mm-hmm. So we all know the same system. So
right. So going back to what you said about you teach like preschool and like your early grade school kids. Me and Cliche, and I think me and you had a discussion about this too. Mm. Why do we not see a lot of male teachers in your early grade school buildings? Well, because like your pre-K and your middle school.
We're not geared to be educators anymore. Mm. We're built to be players. We're built to be hanging out. It's no longer emphasized being a male teacher coming into the classroom. And that's what's wrong with our boys. They really need that strong hand. Right. And that's what got me interested in science. Man, I had a science teacher. This dude was about 6'4", and whatever you say, I'm going to do. But he got me interested in science.
Right.
So, because boys have to be dominated. They like strength. Mm-hmm. Right. And that's why most of them are joining the games, because they see strength. Mm-hmm. And their homies don't care whether or not they can read or write. Right. So they feel comfortable in that environment. That's what the boys are. That's why they're joining gangs, because most of the fraternity guys and all of us who have quote unquote made it, we've opted out. So that's all they see. Mm. Where's their alternative? I mean, what's the difference between a fraternity and a gang? They wear colors, they got handshakes, they have a brotherhood. What's the difference? Right. It's where we're directing. So they see more of this than guys like me in the fraternities that are out there putting our hands on them, who care about them reading. It's easy to sit in the boardroom or upstairs and say, man, these kids are out of control. They're out of control because we've not stepped in and opt out. We've opted out and left our young brothers to the gangs. We're already clannish by nature. Black men are clannish by nature. We like to hang out. We like brotherhood. We like to get into that, whereas we see the pecking order. We like to be in our pecking order. Believe me, I know it. I grew up that way. I mean,
Right.
you know, I've been in brotherhoods since I can remember, in one form or one fashion. You know, so
Right.
so that's what we yearn for strength. We yearn for somebody that and they're angry. A young boy.
A lot of them,
angry.
yes.
And they're angry. Now, this is only my opinion. Now, they're angry at the people who allowed them not to be men. All the people that have not allowed them to be men, that's who they're having all the backlash on.
Mostly women, right?
Yeah, of course.
There you go.
I ain't said it, but this is just my opinion. Just because I'm a sociologist by schooling, just by interacting with people. I observe stuff like that. And so now they're mad at the women. Now the women are more educated. Now she can read, I can't read. So he's going to me, it's a very simple process. So that's why I started preschool, because we have to develop our children equally.
Yeah. And
the boys have to be able to read. You know, it's great to have strong black women. And I love it. It's one thing, anyway. But so that's why we got to bring them up and have respect for themselves and respect for the girls, all that. You know, I'm 56. I grew up like that.
Right.
You know, it's you don't disrespect no girl. Oh man, your uncle, your brother, everybody gonna come get you. Ain't no question. Maybe. You understood there were rules in our community.
Right.
And this is part of what the social ills are. We've dashed away those rules that have served us since we've gotten here. Since we got here 500 years ago,
Right.
Information was passed down. It wasn't broken until like the middle '80s, the mid '80s. That's when it was splintered. For example, when I do my workshops, I say the early bird catches the what?
The worm.
Okay. Mama said when that street light comes on, you better have your what?
But in the house.
So we heard that when we was right here. Now our kids are getting mixed messages. They rarely hear that, but they hear all the other stuff on YouTube, all the social media. So we learn through repetition. So there's nothing wrong with them. They just did not get that foundation. I live by these rules. Now, I'm just not saying it. I live by it because I was indoctrinated. I was educated by the preacher in the community, the doctor, the lawyer, the school teacher, my mama, my daddy, my uncle. Everybody told me the same thing. But now we get mixed messages. That's what's wrong with the children. It's nothing wrong with them. We've just closed that gap. I bet you can go out there and ask a young boy on that. He might know it, but the majority of what he or she is hearing is some totally in opposition to what we were taught.
Right.
So that's
I was dating her.
so. By the way, with that being said, that's part of what I implement into the curriculum.
Right.
These concepts indirectly, you know. So I might say, the early bird catches the worm. So that's my chance to teach zoology. But they've heard the concept. And when they get on and say, oh, I remember Mr. Carter, you said the early bird catches the worm. Now, we might go further into that discussion, but they're processed. It's been layered. It's been cemented in their mind. And when they get older, like, wait a minute, I know what he was talking about now. And so those are some of the concepts that I integrate into my curriculum. So it goes beyond just science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, because you can have brilliant students with bad social skills. We see what happens nowadays. Brilliant kids with bad social skills, they hurt other people. I'm going to just leave it at that, all right?
Right.
So we try to build a total child in our program. So I have a mental health person on staff, one of my vice president. I have an engineering and math teacher who also teaches agriculture. And I teach the educational, social interaction, the health and the wellness. So we try to build the total child. So you know.
That's powerful, man. Conqu3r, did you have any questions?
No, not right now. So far, that was good. I loved it.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So let me ask you this. So do you recommend private schools to black kids?
Do you think it makes a difference?
I like the private concept, but I think what I'm talking about is the whole community is public.
Right.
And what I mean by that is that these concepts that I'm teaching is a part of a supplemental education. So whether you have public school, private school, homeschool, you can use these concepts.
Right.
So that's that. So I think any child can be educated. It's a matter of them motivating, and that's how I learned. How much stuff do you remember from college? Really, a lesson. Just like I remember. Really, but you remember the party you went to. You remember this. So, but you can remember most of the things that you learned in preschool. You still remember your colors. Still remember. So that's why preschool is so important, because that was part of our learning foundation. It was cemented in our brain. Man, I learned the Black National Anthem in college, and the teacher that told me that I need to stop skipping over pages because I couldn't read that well, my reading comprehension. So she pulled me aside. I'm in college now. And only book I read cover to cover was Jack and Jill and I Am Sam and Dr. Seuss. I'm in college now. But because I was intimidated, so I used to try to, and so the teacher called me after school because she saw my potential. She's like, Miss Calhoun, she said, and I'll never forget this, and this is one of the things that changed my perception about education. She said, either you're going to be the president of the United States or you're going to be the janitor that cleans this office. I would never forget that. So I say that because it's not so much what a person says, but if you understand what affects a person, you motivate, and that's part of my program. I motivate the children to want to learn so they would teach themselves, because that's the way I learned. I hate reading. Oh my God. I ain't the type of guy to sit down and say, man, I just want to sit down and read a good book. No, I do not. But if I could read something to change somebody else's life or to educate or impact, now I will read. I'm interested. And that's part of the my ADHD.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the way it works. I want to motivate our children to learn, and they would teach themselves.
Right.
You know,
So you, I remember we had some talks, and you're doing like the same thing in Africa with certain countries in Africa.
Yeah. Presently, I'm in West Africa, mostly Ghana. And I chose Ghana for various reasons, because that's where most of the African Americans were transported from in slavery. We came from Ghana. And it's been 500 years. And so they were offering African Americans a piece of land and kind of come home. And plus, the people were beautiful. The weather was beautiful. The labor is cheap. The land is cheap. The food is cheap. Man, it's just phenomenal. And plus, I like Ghana because you have about 10,000 African Americans actually living in Ghana. So so I kind of felt a little bit more at home.
That's a big number right there.
Yeah, it's huge. It's probably the largest African American population in the continent of Africa. Matter of fact, I know it is. Yeah. So,
powerful,
you know,
man.
so and it's growing by the day.
Right.
It's growing by the day. So I like Ghana. So presently I have one model school, Prince L, that's going to be my model school. In Uganda, East Africa, I'm working on a school. It's just so hard to connect education in because there's so many barriers. You have to have the right people you trust that ain't going to eat your money. So, and then the translation of how we translate this information, whereas they could comprehend it and learn it based on the cultural differences, not so much the language barrier, because all over Africa, they want to speak like African Americans.
Right.
And I said African Americans, right?
Right.
They want to be us. They want to dress like us. I think it's wonderful. Now, I can get in there and change who we are. We are educators. We're mathematicians. We're scientists. We're technicians. That's who we are. It's not what you think, on television. They think all of us are rappers. That's what they are. Literally. And I don't mean, I ain't joking. They literally think all blacks are African American, or African Americans are rappers and singers, and they have money.
I'm broke.
Literally.
Man.
So yeah, I know they don't get. Yeah. So anyway, so that's one reason why I want to bring your show over to Africa, show us in different lights.
Right.
You know, I was like, wow, I didn't know Black Americans did this. I didn't know. So it's at the same time, there's a cultural exchange. You know, Africa is not the kids flying around. Everybody's poor.
Yeah.
it's just an opportunity to open our eyes to how they live and vice versa. And there's so many similarities. It would blow your mind. It's and what I mean by that, that you can see some of the same traditions that was brought from Africa to the United States. For example, when their parents die, they put their money where? What do our grandfather? They said grandfather used to put his money where? Under the mattress. They do the same thing. Kids, the same thing. And over there, the aunties have a powerful position, just like in my family. My auntie is like, I listen to my auntie almost. So those customs have literally been brought from there to here. You know, respect for the family, culture, grandma is huge.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, you start seeing the similarities, and then now you can see the connection and how that information was actually brought over here. And it still resonates in many ways, you know. So,
Yeah.
you know, even the hairstyles. You look at, there's Maasai warriors wore their hair like that, the braids, and the boys wearing their hair like that. They were wearing that, and they wear that over in Africa. Now you'd be like, wait a minute, afros.
His hairstyle from Africa.
Oh, yeah.
Word?
Yeah. Yeah, all of that.
I didn't know
Absolutely.
that.
Wow.
All of them. It's no difference once you start understanding the history and the culture, the hairstyles, the complexion of the girls, all that. You'd be like, dang, I look like so and so over my homegirl Cookie.
Yeah.
What you doing over here anyway?
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful awakening. So
That's powerful, man.
I go much further than just teaching STEM, because socialization is crucial.
Yeah.
You know, and always being socialized and taking away the xenophobic mindsets that we have.
Right.
And understanding that the world is looking to us, and we don't understand the impact that we have around the world. And so I try to let African Americans understand, man, the people love you around the world. Wait, you don't see no, you got the guy in Dubai, a prince, wearing his hat backwards. What? A prince in Dubai wearing his hat? We influence the world.
Yeah.
Now, everybody want to talk slang to you, and they go, man, come on, right? I was trying to get away from y'all. Want to call each other the N word and all that, and they sag it, man. They turning bottles on their videos. I was like, man,
I am done.
yeah, I mean, yeah. But like I said, it's an opportunity for us to step in now to bring another perspective, another side of who or what we are. Like I said, that's why this station is going to be so instrumental, because you guys can actually change the perception of what people and how and what they think of us.
Right.
So you guys are powerful. Y'all sitting in a great position.
Thank you, man.
Y'all.
Thank you.
Cliche.
Thank you.
So now you got work to do. Now you don't understand. You too, Tip. Anyway, you do your thing. You do your thing. Oh. Yes,
There
you
you
does
go.
it.
Better ask about it.
Man.
better ask somebody, right?
Conqu3r, did you have anything you want to add, or are you good?
I just wanted to know. Well, I do have a question. What can we do to keep the teachers? Like,
Oh, you train them?
yeah.
Train them?
Train them?
Yeah. So that's part of my STEM program.
Right.
You know, most schools have PTA. I have PTTA. That's for parents, teachers, tutors, and administrators. The program is so simple now. An 8-year-old can teach my program. So what that looks like is I have a concept that I call STEM Hour of Power. Right. So let's say the subject matter is biology. So I break that word down phonetically. So the word for the day, kids, is biology. Then on my show, I have my mom call in on the phone. Hey, son, did you teach the kids biology? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I'm teaching them respect. Did you teach them the 5 synonyms for biology? Yeah, I'm working on that. What are they, Mom? So she gets to tell the kids the synonyms for the word. So now they building their vocabulary with me. So I'm in the first 10 minutes of the show. Next 10 minutes, all right, kids, time for y'all to pull out your workbook.
Right.
So then they do an activity based on biology.
Right.
Now, kids, the next 10 minutes, it's time to watch a video on biology. So now they send for the ones that learn visually
Right.
and through auditory. Now they're seeing that. Then we do an interactive game and activity based on biology. So for those who like to touch and feel. So within that hour, a child will have a full grasp of biology. That's the way I teach. In 1 hour, I claim I could teach any subject within 1 hour.
Hey.
And then, of course, at the end, you review it, and then you give the child a prize.
Right.
Okay.
Now they're feeling the reward of learning.
Right.
So this is how So 8-year-old, all he had to do it. Okay, 10 minutes. I put in the video. 10 minutes. I put in the CD. 10 minutes. I pass. An 8-year-old could do that.
Right.
An 8-year-old could teach a 3-year-old. They agribusiness, A for agronomics, B for banks. That's how we train the future teachers. Now the kids are understanding what it's like to impact, because I figured that out because I learned everything from my sister who was 4 years older than me.
Right.
She taught me everything, math, science, everything. So I was like, well, if she did that, then we can do the same thing. So that's the value of growing up, and I call it the middle school. Not old school, not new school. I grew up in that era, whereas I still got a lot of the old school teaching.
Right.
And I can have enough impact on the new school.
Right.
So I sit right in the middle. So that's the way I would teach our tutors. They could they could pass out that. So that's how we train future teachers and educators in our community.
Okay.
And plus, I pay them.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's the reward, by the way?
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's well, that's when the older kids get into what I call my 401k for kids.
Okay.
I know. It's a lot. So basically, what that looks like, the products. Say if I sell this curriculum,
Right.
I put 10% into the kids' 401k program. Just like an adult, you work, you get 401k. So I put a certain amount of money into the kids that are part of the program. So now the kids get shares and dividends based on the local community buying our products.
Okay.
And that's the way you recycle the money. We recycle our money through education. Now you're understanding that your child is getting a quality education. You're willing to buy the program. A certain percentage of that goes back into the child 401k program. See, well, that's the way we have to cycle the money.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not only cycle the money, cycle the influence, cycle the concept of how money works. So
Right.
we talk about money. Money is a currency. You got to keep it flowing.
Right.
So this program will allow the kids to keep the money flowing. I think I might have sent you the video, and I was teaching the kids how much money can you gross if you save a nickel a day. So you multiply that times 16 years. That child will almost have, I think it's like $20,000. So you think about $1 a day. That child, after 16 years, they almost have $500,000. And now we're talking about, I don't know how my kids go to school. I can't afford college. He got $500,000. See, and people come by and sell us insurance policy. If you die in 20 years, you get $250,000. You can save $1 a day for 16 years and have $500,000. You see what I'm saying?
Help me.
Just basic stuff. The old folks used to say, a penny saved is a penny earned. So that's how Granddad had all that money when he died. I don't know what all Granddad did was put $1 a day aside in the mattress.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
We, and in spite of the fact, I would tell people that they ain't gonna do it. No. And then we take that money and to the bank, and we get 0.3% interest on our money that they took out the bank and gave to somebody else loan and gave us 0.3. You can save that $1 a day and have almost $500,000 after 20 years of saving $1 a day. You see what I'm saying? Just basic stuff that we don't understand about money, and I don't understand it, but to me, it's just common sense.
Right.
Because I was taught. My mom was. She never finished high school, but she had a lot of common sense. She said, "Boy, why are you doing that? That doesn't make any sense." So I was taught, if it doesn't make sense, don't do it.
Right.
So I started using these concepts. I'm like, no, that makes sense to me.
Right.
That my whole curriculum is based off, to me, just basic common sense things that we overlook.
Right.
And so, it goes much deeper. So
Yeah, man, you said some powerful stuff today, man. So we about to wrap up. How can the people reach out to you?
Oh boy, somebody want to give me my social media I tell you
Even
what,
if it's
just,
email
just,
or
just,
the website.
okay. Shoot. All right, just call me. I don't care. Just call me. 706-300-6756. Now, if you call me, just please invite me out to your organization meeting. Your school, your PTA, your church, your homeschool association. Please call me because it's all about exposure. And I don't like the social media thing because I want you to personally meet me. I don't want you to be like, well, he looks good on there, he's funny. No, I want you to meet me. I'm a personable person. I like to meet people.
Right.
I like to interact with people. And when you come to my workshop, I bring these characters into my workshop and I perform, I line dance, I do little skits and I do various things. So because I'm an entertainer by nature, so I think anyway. So I like to meet people where they are, and I've always been that type. So that's my strength, So call me. Now, if you call me, do text me because I got 5 different businesses. I might be cutting yards, I might be exercising, I might be on a cruise, I might be DJing. But text me, and I always check my text messages all the time. So let me know who you are when you text, and I promise you I would definitely contact you.
Okay.
So, once again, my number is 706-300-6756. See, you can do that when you're not big. You can give out your regular number now. Now, later on, 5 years from now, Google, you can reach me some other way. But right now, I'm just Mr. Cardio, So.
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming, man. I definitely appreciate you coming here. Definitely dropped some heavy knowledge on us. So we're very thankful.
Well, thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you. And, I just love what you're doing. I love what your staff is doing because we need to tell a different narrative about who we are and what we do.
Yes.
And how brilliant our children are because we allowed that 1% to build the reputation of the rest of the 99%. To me, that's bad math.
Yes.
So I don't watch television because I never want anybody to paint their narrative to me.
Right.
I want to decide on my narrative. I want to decide how smart our kids are. I want to decide how brilliant they are. I want to decide that they can reach this goal. I don't want to see them I don't want to see that.
Right.
How many of our kids are graduating? There's a greater percentage that's graduating. What? That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
So I don't watch television. I just started back listening to radio. So anyway.
I'm done. There you go. She-Ra Radio. Shout out to She-Ra Radio.
Oh, you guys on? Yeah. So I'm be listening.
Yeah. So that's it for the show. You can check us out on our Instagram at Conqu3r. Conqu_you, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm not social media myself. I'm trying to be. My sister keep nailing that in my head. Yeah, that needs to be changed. You need the password tonight. And the login. Conqu3r_you. That's Conqu3r_you. You can follow us on Facebook as well at Conqu3r, and that's Conqu3r_you and just the letter U. You can follow me on Instagram at Tevin Hero. That's TEVNHEERO. And also, y'all, we have a website. We have some merchandise on there, some shirts that we are selling. So you could check that out at Conqu3r.com. Again, that is Conqu3r.com. Cliche?
Yep, you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok at So Cliche. SOCLESHAE.
Okay, perfect. And we out, y'all. God bless.
Have a good one.
Purple Rain and Kool-Aid.
All the good stuff.